I bought it for, I think, $144,000.
Those are over 80 to 100 years old, I believe. There's tons of golfing, skiing, mountain biking. My name is Meg Baker, and my company is Great Lakes Modern. Come on in for a tour. Come on, bub. Welcome. This is the entryway where everybody leaves their ski boots, jackets, all that fun stuff, all the gear, hiking boots, golf clubs. And half the time I leave like props and like fun stuff that I find here too, by the way, like fun hats and jackets and all kinds of stuff. And people like to like play with them and dress up, and I love it when they do that. You'll see all kinds of books for everybody. I have tons of outdoor surfing, snowboarding, skiing, all kinds of stuff, because I want people to be entertained while they're here and just get cozy. And then here's the hangout, the first level, where most people like to chill after skiing or a long day at the beach. If you want to do work while you're here, which is not recommended, you can do it right there. The hanging chair is original to the Chalet, I will say. I would say the only new things here too is that couch, honestly, at this point. This is our small kitchen that we have for guests, but the place that people mostly want to hang out is right here. Well, right here, and then out on the deck. And then there's a fire pit and stuff down there too.
Is it fenced in down there?
I have a fenced-in kennel down there, yeah. This is Boyne Highlands right out here. And then we have Nubs Knob on our side of the road. We have the North Country Trail that runs behind us for all the big mountain bikers. Tons of golf courses. I think Boyne Highlands has 4 or 5 just on their own property. There's tons of golfing, skiing, mountain biking. Petoskey State Park is 5 minutes down the road. Harbor Springs is around 8 minutes. Petoskey's 15 minutes. So it's a great location. The Mackinac Bridge is about 35, 40 from here too. So that's always a great day trip. You can pop up to Mackinac Island for the day too. So this is the original 1969 fireplace. Got some cozy. All I did here was honestly update the flooring, and then everything else is vintage stuff that I've found throughout the years. But this is our second level, and then what else? And then we have a master bedroom over this way, a small full bath. This is the master. This place sleeps 6 to 8, depending on how cozy you want to get. Another front or back deck, or whatever you decide is the front or back. And then I'll show you the third level. This is another original game table that was left. One of the only pieces that I kept because it wasn't time period appropriate, but this was one of our favorite. Everybody loves to do games and stuff like that up here, all kinds of puzzles, games, and then we have 2 bedrooms up and a half bath up here for all the kiddos or friends staying. My business is Great Lakes Modern, and I started 8 years ago when I decided to rent my chalet out on VRBO, and it's a really random story kind of. I grew up antiquing my entire life, and every time we'd come up north to summer, I would make my mom stop and go to all the antique stores on the way up. So I've been collecting my entire life, and I always wanted a chalet. We had one when we were younger across the street actually, and I decorate my places and my rentals with all my antiques. So it's kind of like a step back in time anytime you go to one of our rentals.
Was this your first property that you have?
Yes.
And how many do you have now?
Altogether with my partner, we have 6.
When you got this, did you buy it to have like a property, or were you buying it in thoughts of, I want this to be a rental home as well as my property? What were you thinking?
This was always going to be my primary home, still is my primary home, which people don't believe because I'm always gone, but I'm here every other week with my daughter for school, but then we travel the other times, or she's with her dad. But so I was gonna move out west again after I bought this place, and then I ended up staying. And then, like I said, 8 years ago, I always wanted to rent it out, and so I was like, I'm just gonna try it, and then I haven't stopped since. And I never bought it to just to rent. Like all of our family, they're all family properties, which are once again key to my business because they're kind of properties that you wouldn't often get to rent because they've been in the family for a long time. Yeah, my partner's cottages on Torch have been in his family for a super long time. My mom's 125-year-old cabin up in Goodhart, and Chris also has a place in Traverse City. That's the newest one, but we just rent that out in the summer when he's at Torch.
So it's kind of like everyone kind of lives in this one of the spaces at a time type of thing?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, basically.
So do you guys have like a property management company?
We just do it. We do it all of ourselves, yeah.
What does a day-to-day operation look like for you?
Lots and lots of cleaning, rearranging. Like I said, I find new antiques all the time, and sometimes I'll rearrange the whole place around one antique. You know, I've tried so many different things in this space, so it's like kind of nice. You kind of find like really the right stuff that fits, you know, after a while. And so you kind of keep those, but lots of cleaning. I was just gonna say that's like kind of, I don't really have much other than cleaning, I feel like. But like my everyday is like so different. It's like everything from like thrift shopping to doing design work. I have like a project in Key West that I'm doing some interior design for. Like I said, honestly, it's a lot of furniture moving and cleaning and all that kind of stuff.
So you have the Airbnbs as a business. Do you also have an interior design business as well?
That's what I'd like to do, yeah, is do both, yeah. And so honestly, the antique thing I started doing like as a hobby just to sell when I had my daughter Koa, and then it just kind of turned into this business where it's like the properties just kept, I don't know, I just start designing them and then they turn into rentals, I guess. I don't know.
Can you also raise your price because of the way that it's designed and it's appealing to a specific type of person? Is that something that you guys have found?
No, I think location is huge up here. Like I said, Chris's cottages on Torch are, you know, they sell themselves, but to obviously have, you know, all the old stuff that kind of goes with it. His dad was a professional sailor, so they have like all the fun stuff growing up that goes with you know, the family cottages and stuff. And so, yeah, it's definitely like, I want people to walk in and have nostalgia and be like, I remember that, and have fun with their families, you know, instead of just like playing their phones. Like each place is centered around spending time with your family outdoors, whether it's on the lake, at the ski hill. Same with my mom's at the lake. Yeah, and my mom's doesn't have any internet service and she'll never get it. Everyone asks and they're like, my mom's like, nope. And so many people thank me too. They're like, thank you so much for, you know, not having service because I actually hung out with my family. So it's nice. So it's all about creating an experience, not just like going to an Airbnb because it was, you know, the most, I don't know, the cheapest or the, you know, this or that. It's just about family time and doing it somewhere fun, you know.
So you mentioned that you have a partner. Do you have any employees?
I do not. All homegrown for sure.
What are some of the things that are required to have, or like what do people say that they want or don't want?
I think like, especially like this place, like I want, because the weather can be crazy up here. You never know what you're gonna get. Like some people come up and they want to go skiing. And there's like, you know, 50-mile-an-hour winds and it's a blizzard or whatever. So like each space I want to have like a ton of books, a ton of games, fireplaces, things that make it cozy. So when you're here, you don't even like have to go anywhere if you don't want to. Like even like for fall color tour, it's like if you're not super active, you can just sit right here. You know, it's like if you don't want to go skiing, you can sit right here. We try to keep each space super cozy and comfortable. And obviously with antiques, it's like you have to have some sort of, there's a fine line between comfort and just like old stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's like all the new, like all the other stuff like bedding and all that stuff is all brand new. But I just try to keep it super comfortable for everybody. But yeah, definitely internet is what people want.
For each of your properties, what would you say is the main draw?
This one is an original 1969 chalet, all interior design with that in mind. My mom's is 100. And then the ski hill is the North Country Trails right outside, the mountain biking, the golfing. I mean, Nubs is right there. Boyne Highlands is across the street. We're 5 minutes from the lake and downtown harbor. My mom's is a 125-year-old cabin, and hers is on N119, which is our scenic drive that goes from Harbor Springs all the way up to Goodhart along the shore. And it's like the most beautiful scenic drive. So that's a huge draw. And she's the last cabin right just south of the Good Heart General Store, which is also a huge draw. So you can ride your bikes there. And then her property is on the beach on Lambkin, which is another huge draw, is having the private beach access down there. And then Chris's cottages on Torch are right in Alden, and they come with a slip if you want. And then Chris has a surf boat that he does surf lessons on, and this year we're getting out we were supposed to do it last year, but it didn't happen, 1950s Chris Craft that we're gonna do rides on and do rental rides and stuff like that. So yeah. And then his place in Traverse City that's just, like I said, just a summer rental, and that's like right, close to the airport, close to town. It's like, that's his main residence. So and he's at the lake, and so he rents that out for the summer. But yeah, like I said, and they're all like, there's so many family cottages. It's like, oh, I'd like to stay at something like that, but it's like so many people don't rent it. They don't even have places next to him. Like their families all get like a week, and so they're all like, oh, we get this week, and it's like a lot of people don't rent out places like this. Do you know what I mean? So, because they've been in the family for so long. So it's a nice, like I said, that's why it's nice. They're all like very family oriented, family places that you want to go.
And then can you talk about how you get your customers or what you're doing to advertise?
I do most of my online, I have a website, it's glmodern.com, and I mostly do business on Instagram, and that's where most people see me, because most people don't go on Airbnb and VRBO in the morning, they hit up Instagram. It's like everybody's news. So that's where I try to put most of my stuff, and I honestly get a lot of my bookings from Instagram too, because I tell people that they don't have to pay their fees, and then I don't have to pay their fees, and then people are like, oh, I'll just book direct with you. And so people like that idea, and then people, because of that, want to come back. But yeah, Instagram is huge. And same with, that's where like I go through phases too, where it's like I sell my stuff on Instagram. It's just like, it's turned, like I said, I'm like, it wasn't supposed to be this way. I don't know how this happened. It's like, it's so crazy that I get to do this. It's like, it's bizarre, but yeah, it just kind of turned into this. And like I said, my friends a long time ago, so I had my daughter, and they're like, you should sell, because I'd always be like, oh my god, look at this, I found this hat, or and they're like, you should sell these. I'm like, no, I don't want to sell blah blah blah. But so I did it after I had my daughter, because I was staying at home, and then it just kind of turned into this. And then, like I said, I started renting out my place, and then everybody liked the antiques, and then it just kind of, I met Chris, and then I did his, and it just kind of turned into this thing. And now people are asking me to design their Airbnbs and stuff like that. So it's fun. It's really crazy. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but I just keep trying every day.
Is everything for sale in here?
For the most part, no. But you can always ask. Because a lot of times it's just stuff that I have found. Like I said, it's like, it's been here for so long that it's like the right fit, but I can always find something new tomorrow. So I like to do the design aspect instead of sell, which I've learned. So that's why I started doing some yurt parties also. I don't know if you guys saw that on my site, but I do yurt rentals also. We do everything from like Airbnb rentals to yurt rentals to vintage. Like I said, we're doing boat rentals, and then like I have a vintage Bronco. Like we're wanting to get into stuff like that too more. But yeah, I love doing like the design of yurts, because it's like I can kind of tailor it to whatever. Like I just booked a couple weddings. I just want like, tent lounges, like, vintage kind of style hangout, stuff like that. So that's
something you would bring to a location and set up.
Yeah. So, and I have a vintage camper and stuff like that too. So it's just like, rent my vintage, basically.
Because it's, website.
Yeah. Rent my life. Yeah. So it's fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fun because it's just not everyday stuff that you come across. You know what I mean? So.
Do you have like initial investment that you put into at least your Airbnbs at first?
Just in the beginning, but like I said, it's not like we bought these places to rent. Yeah, which I think is huge for up here, because it's been a hard adjustment to get all the Airbnbs to, everyone's buying them and renting, so it's played a role in every town, I think. But no, ours are all family cottages that we decided to rent out, that we already have owned for many years. So I've owned this place for like 18 years, I think now.
Did you have to put in like a specific amount of capital just to prepare it to be an Airbnb instead of just a residence? Or was it like pretty seamless?
In the beginning, you have to have the investment which isn't huge, but you have to, go to somewhere like Target or Home Goods or wherever and, buy double of everything, double sheets, double towels, so it's like if I sleep 8 people here, how many towels do you have to have? 16, or whatever, or just even to flip it, even if, it's stuff like that, but it's not huge, but it's still, it's an investment where it's like you have to have that stuff to flip it and to have extras and stuff like that. So it's not a huge investment if you want to start renting.
Do you have to get permits or anything like that so that it can be a rental, or how does that work?
Every town is different. I know there's a lot of laws now. I did not, but in my neighborhood here, you just can't rent more than you stay here, which is not a problem for me. But I know in Town Harbor, you have to get permits now. I just found out, and they only allow so many. And I'm not sure about down by Torch, but it's like always a topic, and rightfully so,
You said that you use Instagram to get most of your business. Is there people coming from outside of Michigan?
Yes, it's interesting. I feel like I could go through phases. Like there was a big phase of like all Chicago people. I've had people from Europe. I have someone from Sweden that always comes back. I mean, all over the country. And Harbor Springs is just kind of a place that once you go, I feel like you always come back, especially if there's family. And it's just a great place to come summer, fall, winter.
Is winter your busiest season, or how do your seasons kind of line up?
I just want weekends here in the winter. In the summer, I try to do like the full summer, but I would say summer is just as busy as the winter up here. On the weekends, I should say.
Okay.
With school, it's different, but summer is really busy up here too, so.
What is like your biggest monthly expense?
I would say cleaning, even though I do all my own cleaning, but I would say cleaning and then it's hard for me because I'm always constantly buying stuff for all the properties. So I would say just like, supplies, sheets, towels, stuff like that, but nothing crazy. That's a huge saver if anybody is doing their own Airbnb though, is cleaning it themselves, which most people can't do. But it's like I can either clean myself for $150 or I can pay somebody $150 and pocket it. So it's like you can make it like whatever level you want it to be. Like I feel like you can save as much as you want.
Do you guys have lawn care companies?
That's another one too. It's like, once again, homegrown. It's like we've always tried to do all of our stuff ourselves. And I think a lot of people that don't have their Airbnbs they're like not in the same town the majority of the time. So a lot of times people that do, like, you will have other expenses like snowplow or, which I get in my neighborhood, but it's like stuff to think about if you're starting an Airbnb. It is that stuff for sure. A handy person is huge, because things do break.
Is there any plans for more Airbnbs?
So I wanted to, in the beginning, preserve that front or back space. I say back. I would love to put a smaller chalet out back that wouldn't impede my view for me and my daughter and Chris and his kids to stay, and maybe rent both out, and go back and forth. I'm not sure on that just yet, or the logistics, or maybe even just live there, rent this. We'll see. But I would love to do that eventually, and then literally from the ground up create my own like 1960s pad, like full blown, like sunken living room, like once again create like a totally different experience, and hopefully just add like more vintage vehicles for me because I love vintage cars, and I would love to do stuff like that eventually down the line, and do like vintage car rentals and stuff like that.
Do you have 3 tips of advice for other entrepreneurs?
I would just say to pick something that you love doing, because that's the biggest thing, is doing something that you love every day, and just keep doing it and having fun with it regardless of what your thoughts are on, just keep going and say yes to everything, because that's experience, and it makes, you meet people through doing new things and stuff like that. My business is my Airbnb rentals, and I design each one of them with period appropriate antiques. So it's like you're stepping back in time, basically, to fit like I want a nostalgic vibe for all of them. And I also sell my antiques on Etsy. So if you see something you like, you can go and check it out. I also have my mom's cabin, which we call Mom's Cabin. And that was, like I said, 125 years old. And then same with Chris's cottages on Torch Lake. Those are over 80 to 100 years old, I believe.
Can you do like separate or together rentals, or how does that work?
Usually separate, but you can do both if you have bigger families and want to rent at the same time. And then that one of them we just call the little cottage, and then the other one is called the comfort cottage, because that was Chris's grandparents' last name.
And then how much is a night to rent this one?
Around $395, give or take. So I was in this book this last March called Midwest Modern Manifesto. by Angie Lane. And it's an easy formula to get designer style in your home. It's super cool. So this is my piece right here. Great Lakes Modern. You'll see the chalet. But it's really cool. It explains how to get the look that you're going for in all these different examples. So she does like a hard pattern, a soft pattern, a bright color, and nostalgia, eclectic, everything. So it kind of shows you how to get the look that that you see examples of in here. And then just gives different examples of it if you're trying to get this sort of look. So
How much did you buy this for?
my initial investment when I bought this place when I was 22, I bought it for I think $144,000. Where I store my antiques, but I ended up getting the shed to where I keep a lot of my stuff because a lot of people, because they end up seeing these places that don't look like typical places, they want to do shoots here. They want to do I had a music video last fall. I've had people do I've had different products go through here, like I said, weddings, all kinds of different places. People just want to photograph here, and so just because it's, like I said, a different background that you typically don't see. So but then I'll pull stuff for different companies also. Like I just did a Delta airline activation. I love to do shoots and styling. I'd make all these different collections to the half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like, I just like these, I'm gonna keep them for something, and I'll stash it away, and then something will pop up that you need it for. So but this is where I store most of my stuff. Typically, it's honestly, all of our properties are where I store stuff, and if I find something I like better, I'll switch it out, and then it'll, it's kind of like revolving houses basically. And a lot of times I'll use something for a long time, and then I'll be like, you know what, it's time to go, and or someone just wants it. They're like, I want that piece, so, or I'll just post a picture and people are like, I want that chair, what is that chair doing? So it's like, it's kind of interesting. And sometimes I don't know, it's just different. So people it's nice because it's like you can see, I move stuff around so much, you can see it in different places, different eyes, different styles. Because it's not just mid-century, like I love everything from like rustic, modern, bohemian, hippie, I cross a lot of different, styles. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's super fun. So
How much do you think this is all worth?
probably like $40. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have no idea. And here, oh gosh, I don't know. Well, that's the fun part, is like searching for it for cheap too. That's like half the fun, is going to all the weird places and meeting all the new people and scoring some good stuff. So,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, not a lot, I'll tell you that much. Because you don't have to spend a lot if you go to a thrift store, So during COVID, I had a lot of people, because of the whole wedding situation, I had a lot of people want to get married at the chalet and do like a small wedding. So I have been doing 50 people weddings max at the chalet. A lot of people want to get married on the deck that overlooks with the ski hill in the background. And then beneath that, we have the huge field and the big flat land that, beneath it, where you can have like a white tent and have a party and have tables set up, which makes for a super cool, intimate vibe. And then once again, add the yurt lounge, and it can be like a super cool, different sort of venue. It's almost turned into a venue after COVID, because people just aren't doing the huge things like they used to. I mean, they're starting to again now, but this is definitely like a certain look for sure that people want. And add the vintage camper for people to get ready in or stay in. It's been super fun to do. I always end up becoming friends with all my renters because we always have stuff in common between, the antiques and all that stuff. So it's fun.
Is that something that costs more, or is there like a...
Yeah, it's an add-on.
Yeah.
Having 50 people here, it's like, you have to, it's way more cleaning. It's more, most people, I ask them to get some sort of portable situation, which is nice to have down on the ground level anyways. But it's just something to think about, because, you can't have 50 people using 1 or 2 bathrooms and stuff like that. So it kind of adds a whole nother side of the things, but it's really fun. So my Instagram is Great Lakes Modern, and we have vacation Airbnbs everywhere from Traverse City, Torch Lake, Harbor Springs, and Good Heart. And our website is glmodern.com.